Welcome, welcome, welcome. Good afternoon. Thank you so much for joining me here today on this live stream. If this is your first time joining me here today, then it is great to have you. And if you've been here with me before, it's wonderful to have you back with me. So today is Friday, the 16th of February 2024. Where's the month going? I can't believe it. We are more than halfway through the month of February. That is crazy. It's crazy. But yeah, we are here today. We are blessed. And I can see I've got a couple of people with me already. So thank you so much for being here. So how are you? I hope you are well. So today I've got a very specific topic to cover. So the past 3 days we have been looking at all those questions that you've been asking me as part of my Q&A. So we got through 3 days of answering loads and loads and loads of questions. And I did have a really big question that was left over. And I wanted to tackle it separately today because I think that there's a lot I want to say about this particular question. So I thought I would answer it as a separate stream. So the question that I was asked, which was a big question, was what are your tips? What are your top tips to lose weight? So a really, really big question. And if this is your first time joining me, then you may or may not know that I've had a successful journey to date. I have lost in total 115 pounds, which is 8 stone, 2 pounds. It's taken me 5 years to do that. So it's not been a quick journey at all. And it averages out at less than £0.5 a week. So I think I'm qualified to share with you some of my top tips for weight loss. So we're going to dive right in. And today I've got me a coffee. It's Let Nature Heal You, me coffee. And as usual, I've got some water because this is thirsty work. And it's looking a bit murky. Well, it looks murky, but it isn't. This is the very last drop of my orange squash. So there was literally like a teaspoon left. So that's why it's looking like that. But it's absolutely fine to drink. So guys, we're going to delve into this question, and I'm going to answer it as fully as I can. And I hope this will help you. I hope what I share will give you food for thought, give you some ideas, and help you to build that foundation so you can be successful in your weight loss journey at whatever stage you are at. So my tips for weight loss, and if I'm looking down, that's because I've got my responses typed out in my little notebook. So tips for weight loss, number 1. I think that whenever somebody is wanting to lose weight, it's because they're unhappy. It's unhappy with where they are in their health, in how they look, in how they feel. Yeah, and just generally. And I think whether somebody has got £10 to lose or even £5 to lose, or whether it's 100 or £200, I think the feeling is pretty much generally, and I'm generalizing now because I realize that either side of that, there may be people who have health issues, mental health issues, and want to lose weight for a variety of reasons. But I think the bulk of people who want to lose weight are doing so generally because they want to get healthier, they want to get fitter, they want to get stronger, and they want to feel better in themselves. So I think that most people who decide that they want to embark on a weight loss journey are unhappy in some way or form. And I know I was very unhappy with how I felt. And I want to say with how I look, but to be fair, I didn't look in the mirror very often. I didn't look because I didn't want to see the reality. And every now and again, if I was walking across a store or walking in a room and I had a mirror, I would catch myself and I didn't like it. So I didn't want to look at myself at home. But I was very unhappy with how I felt. Very, very unhappy. I was sluggish. I was tired. I couldn't move very well. My body actually hurt, literally hurt. So I wanted to improve that. I wanted to improve how I felt. I wanted to improve how I felt about myself. I wanted to be able to move with ease. So, and ultimately, I wanted to look good. I wanted to be attractive. I wanted to look healthy as well. And I wanted my son to be proud of me so he can, introduce me to his friends and not feel embarrassed or ashamed. So there was all of these things going on. But the bottom line was I wanted to lose weight because I was unhappy. And, when I hear people in the weight loss community, I think for a lot of people, it's very much the same. Very much the same. They are unhappy for whatever reason around their bodies, around their size, around how they feel, and they want to improve that. Good afternoon, Kaz. Thanks for joining me today, my lovely. Great to have you with me. So I think that's number one, is when you realize, when you understand why you want to lose weight, that's really important. And an important part of the journey, starting off with understanding your why, exploring your why, maybe even writing down your why, having a visual of your why, of where you are now and where you want to be. And one of the things that I do is I create my own vision board, and I run courses. I do courses amongst the few things that I do. I also have a background working with corporates, and in the past I've done lots of work with corporates around helping their members create vision boards for themselves. And I also do that with people in my community, and I've ran a number of vision board workshops with people in the weight loss community to help them to figure out and really understand where they are now and where they want to be and what that looks like, and to get that visualization going, get those techniques going. So yeah, I think that is really key, is really digging down and exploring your why. And and I often say, I'm just going to turn my heating down because I'm ever so hot. So excuse me for a moment. Thank goodness for Hive and these apps, so I don't have to run downstairs to do it. Oh, it is off. Okay, it's just warm in here, very warm. So in fact, you know what? Please excuse me whilst I strip off. I'm going to take my hoodie off, yeah, and cool me down a bit. There we go. There we go. That's much better. Oh, feel cooler already. Feel so much cooler. I'll have a little sip. There we go. There we go. This is live. This is live, guys. For many years, I used to work in live TV, and it was often like that. If something happened, you just roll with it. You just roll with it. There was no outtakes, no nothing. You just rolled with it. So yeah, I'm quite used to this now. Yeah, it is warm today. It is like spring. It's beautiful. It's lovely. Yeah, very, very nice. Yeah. So first key to weight loss is to really understand your why. And sometimes just starting the journey, knowing that you are unhappy, is enough to get you going. And that's fine. But over time, I think really important to really think about your why, because when you start to feel like you want to give up, then that's when having that strong why is going to keep you going. So yeah, just getting started is the first step. The next step that I've written down is to do some research and explore various options that are available. There are so many ways to lose weight out there, so many plans, so many belief systems, so many options, just so many things out there. And I think that the weight loss industry, and you know, the weight loss industry is only very recent. If you think back, you know, goodness me, about 60 years ago, 70 years ago, there was no such thing as the weight loss industry. And I'm following the Weight Watchers program, and Weight Watchers has been around for 60 years. That's all, 60 years. And before that, there wasn't really anything. If we go back 80 years, there was nothing. There was no weight loss industry. But then I also think that that was about the lifestyle was very different, very different. One, people were more active. We didn't have cars, and well, we did have cars, but not every family had a car. The availability of transport now is you know, it's literally on the doorstep. Some households has 2-3 cars. Everybody's got a car over 18. People don't walk as far, and back in the day, 70-80 years ago, that's what people did. They walked everywhere. And then we also have the rise of the food manufacturing. Back in the day, people grew their food, they cooked their food, they bought their food locally. There wasn't, even when I was growing up in the late 60s, 70s, you made your sandwiches at home, and you cooked food and you took that into work, and that's what you ate. That's what my parents did. And there was no such thing as, oh, I'm going to buy my lunch, I'm going to nip to the supermarket and buy my lunch. There was no such thing as that. You cooked your food and you made your food at home. There was no such thing as, you know, I remember back in the 70s, and convenience foods started to become popular. And you know, the concept of going out and buying a packet of food that somebody else had made was quite foreign, because up until then, never been heard of. And then, like in the 80s, with the rise of McDonald's and Pizzaland, who remembers Pizzaland? You know, those things were foreign, didn't exist. And then now we're into this age of not just convenience food, but this ultra processing food. And it's scary to think that I could look in my cupboard and my fridge at one point. It's not now, but at one point, and at least 80 to 90% of what was in there was all processed. foods that somebody else had made, foods that a company and a manufacturer had made. That was in my fridge. Whereas if we go back 80 years, it was completely different. You know, it was all whole foods. In fact, back then they didn't even have things like refrigerators, because you would buy your food fresh and you would cook it, and that was it. So the whole way of life has changed, and out of that has developed and evolved the whole lifestyle, a whole lifestyle around foods, different types of foods, and everything that brings. So I've gone off point a bit. I've gone off point. So I was talking about do some research to explore the options that's doable and that's available to you. And I was saying that there were just so many plans and programs to do. And back in the day, there was no such thing as the weight loss industry. There was no such thing, because people's lives and lifestyles were completely different to what we have now. And now, even teenagers and young children know about weight loss, and they know about these diet clubs and diet programs and all the rest of it. So there is so much out there, so much. And I think when you are deciding to embark on a journey to lose weight, finding what is going to work for you is absolutely key. Absolutely key. There's so many options out there, so many. There are the whole weight loss clubs, such as Weight Watchers, Slimming World. Then you have things like the apps as well. So you're not meeting in person, you go into clubs. So you've got things like MyFitnessPal. You've got things like Track It. You've got Lose It. All of these different apps. Noom is a big one in that space as well. Then you've got things like tapping into personal trainers. Some people find that working with a personal trainer is a great option for them to lose weight, because they're getting all that fitness support and also some support with nutrition. Some people decide that they want the support of an individual trainer. Hi, Esther. Great to have you with me today. Some people decide that they want the support of, of just focusing on their activity, maybe going to the gym. Maybe they're going to take up running, or they're going to take up walking. Some people find that works absolutely fine for them. Some people decide, you know what, I want a more natural, easy and convenient way of weight loss. So some people choose to count calories, and they do that on their own, and they just keep track of their calories every day. Some people decide, do you know what? I don't want to join a club. I don't want a personal trainer. I don't want to track calories. I don't want to do any of that. I'm just going to reduce my portions, eat sensibly, and just move a little bit more. Some people choose to do that, but other people feel that they need support. They need the support of a community. So they find that area of support. So there are just so many ways to lose weight. There is no one program, no one plan that works for everybody. Weight Watchers has worked for me. But you have to find what works for you. And there's just so many different options. I know of a friend of mine, and she was like, she's going to lose weight and she's going to do it on her own. So she started the practice of intermittent fasting and walking. She just gave up her car, and now she walks every day. Every day, everywhere she goes, she walks. and if she's got shopping or anything like that, she just jumps on the bus or gets a taxi. But everywhere she goes, she walks, and she has lost the most ridiculous amount of weight. I think she's lost like 6 stones in like a year. And that works for her. That works for her. I also, the guy down in my local chippy, I haven't seen him for a few months, and because I don't go in there very often. And I went in there, 2 weeks ago, and I couldn't believe it. He was literally half the size. And and sometimes when people lose weight really quickly and you haven't seen them, I just am very cautious as to what I say, because there could be all sorts of reasons as to why somebody's lost weight. It could be, that it could be that they're ill. Yeah, so I'm very, very cautious. So I got chatting to this guy, and he was like, no, he decided he wanted to lose weight. And I said, well, how have you done it? Because honestly, I didn't even recognize him. He said he just started eating a lot less, started eating 2 meals a day, and started running. And where I live, it's right near a nature centre, and he just started running around there every single day. He'd do 2 or 3 laps, which would take him about an hour, and he got up every day and he ran, and he just, reduced his food intake and the weight. I couldn't believe it. So there are so many, many, many ways, to lose weight. You have to find what works for you. As I said, Weight Watchers has worked for me. You have to find what works for you. And in doing that, you've got to explore what's truly doable. What is something that you can stick to long term? Because I think that sometimes it's easy to say, I'm going to do this program because my friend's done it and they've lost loads of weight. And then we start doing it, but it's not quite right for us. So I think it's really taking that time to explore whatever it is you're going to do, whether it's a plan, whether it's a program, whether it's a way of life. I think it's worth taking time to really explore what it is you're going to embark on and how that is going to work for you. And the other thing that I would say on that is, I've got to put me hoodie back on. I've gone cold. What I'd say is, when you're exploring a method to lose weight, make sure it's sustainable. That is really, really important. And also affordable and realistic. I remember back in the day, before I rejoined Weight Watchers, I signed up for one of these liquid diet programs. And in the first, I lost a stone in like 4 weeks. And I remember my son saying to me, he said, Mom, are you going to live like this? Are you going to live on milkshakes for the rest of your life? I said, no, of course not. He says, why have you even started it? And I was like, yes, very wise. He said, the way to lose weight is to find something that you can do for the rest of your life. And I thought, that is interesting. That is so interesting. And I've come full circle now. And being at Weight Watchers, that's what Weight Watchers teach, is they support putting in place healthy habits that is going to support you and that you could carry out for the rest of your life. And I learned from that. Because as soon as I stopped doing those liquid diets, the weight went back on and more, because it just wasn't sustainable. And it was expensive as well. It was really expensive. So when you're exploring the method to how you want to lose weight, I would also say, one, ensure that it's affordable and you can afford it long term. But secondly, make sure that whatever your program is, it's realistic and it's teaching you habits for life. For life. And I think that is, for me, a key to weight loss. And that's why I went back to Weight Watchers. And I'd done so many things. I'd done the cabbage soup diet, I'd done the liquid diets, I'd done, so many, Slim Fast and Exante and the Cambridge diet. I counted calories as well at one point. None of them was sustainable. I do find, if I'm honest, I do find that Slimming World is sustainable because, again, like Weight Watchers, they teach healthy habits and they support with those healthy habits. So I do like that. It was just, for me, the plan in the program was fine. I couldn't get on board with how they ran their meetings, but that was about me. But their program, healthy program, so I quite liked that. But I really liked the Weight Watchers, really. And I've done Weight Watchers before, so that was what worked for me. But yeah, really important to find something that is sustainable, because the last thing you want to do is to lose a stone and then put on a stone and a half. Counterproductive. So find something that is really, really sustainable. Find something that you can commit to. Yeah, something that you, once you've researched it, you look at it, you decide you can afford it, you decide that it can work for you. Ensure that you can commit. You can commit, not just for a month, not just for 6 months, not even for a year, but you can commit to the lifestyle. And when I say commit, I don't mean to the company, I don't mean to the plan, I mean commit to the lifestyle that program is supposed to be teaching you. Commit to the healthy habits that you are learning. And there is a difference. One of the questions that I answered yesterday in my third Q&A, it was the last question actually. The question was, would I ever leave Weight Watchers after doing so well? And my response in a nutshell, if you want to hear my full response, then go back and check that out. But my response was, I am committed to me, my health, and my journey. I am not committed to a corporate company. I'm not committed to a faceless company. I am not committed to an app. I'm committed to me and my journey. And as I said yesterday, this water bottle, it's a tool. It's a tool to hold water so I could drink the water and be hydrated. My watch, it's a tool to tell me the time so I could live my life on time. This pen is a tool so I could write and make notes. And the Weight Watchers is a plan and a program that is a tool to help me live a healthier lifestyle and to get to where I want to be. So the same way that I am not committed to this water bottle, because if I want to drink, I can have it out of here, but I can also have a drink out of my cup. Okay. I can tell the time on my watch, but I could also tell time on my laptop, on my phone, or the clock on the wall. So the same way, I am not committed to Weight Watchers, the company, and I'm not committed to the app and the program. I'm committed to me. I'm committed to my health and my journey. And Weight Watchers is the tool that helps me to get to where I want to be, which is a healthy version of myself. So I hope that makes sense. Kaz says, you're not keen on Slimming World as they promote eating as much carbs as you want, which for you isn't helpful. And you know what? And that's the thing. That's why it's so important to explore a variety of plans, a variety of programs, a variety of methods to lose weight, and then choose something that's right for you. That's right for you. I've got a personal friend who did Weight Watchers, and it didn't work for her. It didn't work for her. It wasn't right for her. She left, went to Slimming World. She's doing really, really well now. I've also had, people on my Facebook pages left Weight Watchers and gone to do Noom, or they've gone to count calories, etc. We're all different. We have to find what works for us and find what is going to help us to get to where we want to be. Just like, the water bottle, that is going to help in getting me hydrated. My car helps me to get out and about. Weight Watchers helps me to get where I want to be in terms of my health and wellness journey. But I did a much fuller response to that question, which I thought was a fabulous question yesterday. So we've got to do some research and find the program, the plan, the method, the system that's going to work for us. What I personally love about Weight Watchers is the level of support. Before COVID, I way preferred the Weight Watchers support in their workshops over Slimming World. Slimming World, it just did my head in. That's just me. But I liked the way the Weight Watchers meetings ran. During COVID, the Weight Watchers virtuals were an absolute lifesaver for me. And I really, really like the support and the community that Weight Watchers offer as part of their program. So that works for me. And I know different things work for different people, because I hear people saying, oh, they don't like the Weight Watchers virtuals, doesn't work for them. And that's fine. We're all different. But yeah, choose a plan, choose a program, choose a method. You might even decide, you know what, like the bloke in my local chippy is going to reduce his portions, go running, and that's how he's going to lose his weight. So find what is going to work for you. Also for me, alongside the Weight Watchers program, is intermittent fasting. That absolutely works for me. Yeah, absolutely works. Within whatever you choose to do, find that community. Find a community who is going to help you and support you, because I really believe that we can just get up and lose weight on our own. It's absolutely possible, but it is so much easier when we have support. Yeah, when we have support, because no one is an island. And when we have support, we start to realize that actually what we're experiencing, what we're feeling, the successes we're seeing, the barriers and the challenges that we're experiencing, it's nothing new. Other people are going through it at the same time or have been there, and they can champion us on. So having a community, I think, is really, really important, whatever method you choose to lose weight. My next point is whatever method you use. Now, I'm talking quite broadly because I know that I have a lot of people that follow me that are doing the Weight Watchers plan, but not everybody is. Not everybody is. So that's why I'm speaking quite broadly. So my next point, whatever program, whatever method you use, is to make healthy choices every single day. Excuse me whilst I have a sip. It's thirsty work. Make healthy choices every single day. And when I say that, I don't necessarily mean just food. I think healthy choices has to be a lifestyle. If we want to have a healthy lifestyle, it's much more than food. Food is a great place to start. You know, getting those fruits, getting those veggies in, managing our portions, reducing, you know, whether it be the carbs, whether it be the fats, whatever program you're on or plan you're doing, reducing the calories, whatever it is, it's making those healthy choices every single day. Starting with food, I think, is a great one, but also moving your body as much as you possibly can. And for some people, that's going to be a lot. For some people, it's going to be a little. But doing whatever you can to move your body, I think, is really good. And that's always going to be a healthy choice. I think a healthy choice as well is around getting sleep. There's a lot of science around sleep and how important sleep is for our bodies to repair, to rest, to heal, for our mind as well, to recover, to recuperate. And then we know that sleep has an impact on our hormones as well. So when we get the sleep that we need, how we then deal with the following day can have a huge impact. We're not as tired, we're not as fatigued, you know, and that can then help us make better choices. I know, for example, if I don't get the sleep, if I don't sleep well, on those rare occasions where I don't sleep well, I wake up and I can eat a horse. Oh my days. And it's usually those fatty, sugary, carby things that my body's craving. So yeah, we know that, you know, making a healthy choice around sleep is so important, but also a healthy choice around rest. You know, we live in a world where it's so easy. Hello, Frugal Mama. Great to have you with me today. It's so easy to always be on the go, the demands of work. And you know what, you know me, I listen to lots of podcasts. I was listening to a podcast yesterday and it was saying that post-war, before the war, women stayed at home. Yeah, and they did all the housework, the cooking, the cleaning, the looking after the kids, the sewing, everything. You know, they did everything. And the men went out to work. And then after the war, women wanted their rights. So women started to go out to work. But when they got back home, they still had all of those jobs to do. So they were working a full-time job or part-time job, and then they'd get back home and their second shift had started. Whereas for men have always they're going out to work and they're coming back home expecting the dinner on the table, so to speak. And women were at home doing that. But now women say, we want to go out to work as well. So women go out to work, they come back, The man is still expecting the food on the table. The kids are still expecting to be cared for. So the woman is still doing that. So, you know, that role has changed. And if that is you, if that is us, I know that was me, that definitely was me, then it's then finding that time to rest, to build that rest in, and make that healthy choice, make that a healthy choice to find time to rest and to care for ourselves. And of course, mindset, finding time to look after our health mindset, to make healthy choices for our mindset. So when we have that downtime, what healthy choices can we make? What can we feed our mind with in that downtime that is going to support us to live a healthy life? So yeah, you know, whatever plan, whatever program you do, it's finding those healthy choices and making those healthy choices every single day. Those that can really support us on the journey. And that is so key. So if you've just joined me, then great, welcome and thank you for joining me. So today I'm going through the final question that I was asked as part of the Q&A. And it's a big question, and that's why I thought I would answer it today. And the question was, what are my top tips to lose weight? So I'm going through that and breaking that down. So if you've just joined me, my first point within that question was the reason why we want to lose weight. And often that's because we're unhappy in some way. So find your why as to why you're starting on a journey, and explore all your options around the different plans and programs, lifestyle methods, all of that, and find what is truly doable for you. Find what you can stick to for life, not just for a few weeks or a few months, but for life. And find community. Find a community that can support you. And within that, let me just go back a bit, because something that I missed off is some people choose to go for weight loss surgery, and there's a plethora of different things that, you know, people can have. And some people now are going for weight loss medication. And a few weeks ago, I promised I would talk about this and share my views on this. And I'm going to just touch on it now. So my personal view, and I know everybody will have their own view on weight loss surgeries and weight loss drugs. My personal view is it is a tool. The same way that Weight Watchers is a tool, that Slimming World is a tool, that using my water bottle is a tool, that the car is a tool, weight loss surgery and the weight loss injections is a tool. I don't believe for 1 second that they are any kind of magic option. And I don't believe for 1 second that it's an easy option. My only concern, and this is from somebody who I have 2 family members who have had weight loss surgery. I have 3 friends as well who have had weight loss surgery. And what I have observed is that it's not a fix. It just isn't a fix. And I think that, so my 2 family members who have had weight loss surgery have regained most of the weight. One has regained a fair bit, probably the bulk of her weight, and the other family member has regained all her weight and some, and they have both had surgery. My friends who've had surgery, one lost, she was unrecognizable, but unfortunately she passed away. Nothing to do with the surgery, but she passed away, but she lost a lot of weight. And the other two they've lost weight and they're learning to maintain it. So what I've seen is that it's not a magic fix. It's not a magic fix at all. And some people say, oh, they've had surgery, they're having the drugs, it's the easy way out. Not easy at all. What I would say is that I think that certainly for the people that I know, I would have loved to have seen them get more support around healthy eating habits, healthy lifestyle habits, and mindset. Because with the two people that I have had surgery, they physically couldn't eat because their stomachs were shrunk. I think they say that's your stomach. All of that was cut. So all that they had left was that. So that is the size of the stomach. So they had 80% of their stomach removed. So physically, they could only eat a tiny amount of food. But with my one family member, and I'm supporting her at the moment, she has regained all her weight and some, because she still hadn't understood about healthy eating and healthy lifestyle. So, for example, she could only eat a tiny amount of chicken because that's fiber, that's protein, that's going to leave her full. However, what she is able to do is eat copious amounts of crisps and chocolates and sweets and snacks and alcohol and drink alcohol. Those are high calorie foods. So while she's only able to eat a tiny amount of good quality food, she was filling out with, they call them slider foods, the foods that go through the stomach really, really easily. So she hadn't learned about healthy habits. So she's back to square one and have gained more weight. And that applies to the two people that I know. The one friend, was my dearest friend. She was like my sister. She lost, oh my goodness, she lost, I think it was like 15 stone. She lost 15 stone. Again, you know, her death was nothing to do with surgery, nothing at all. What I did see was she became a little bit malnourished and she was so thin. And again, I think that was because she didn't really fully understand about healthy eating. And when she did eat, wasn't really eating nutritiously. So she lost a lot of weight, continued to lose, and was more on the other end of being malnourished. But my other two friends, and you know what? The two family members and my friend that died, they had their surgeries about 10, 12 years ago. But my other two friends have had it in the last 5 years. And I think that the weight loss, the bariatric industry, I think they've come a long way, because with these two friends, they had to see a nutritionist, a dietitian, they had to see somebody about their mental health. They had a lot of education and support about eating, healthy lifestyle, and healthy living. So they've lost weight, but they seem to be doing a lot better. So it's not a quick fix at all. It's not a quick fix at all. And I think that it is a tool, just like joining the slimming club. So thank you, Cass. Thank you. And welcome, Bennett. Great to have you with me today. So I think that weight loss surgery and taking weight loss medication is an option. And I think that when people get to the stage where they want or they're exploring weight loss surgery, and actually I've got another friend who's had surgery, and she lost like 10 stone in like, I don't know, 8 months. And as far as I know, she's doing really, really well with it. And I also think, because interestingly, those three friends paid for surgery themselves, where my family members, they got it on the NHS. So it also makes me think about the motivation, the driver for that. If you're paying out, I don't know, 12 grand or however much it is for weight loss surgery, you're going to make sure because my one friend, she remortgaged a house to be able to pay for it. You ain't going to mess that up. You're going to do everything you're told to make sure that it's worth it. Whereas, it's kind of like they say, if something is free, people generally don't value it as much as if they've had to pay for it. So yeah, I'm just wondering if that's a factor. I'd be interested in your thoughts. What are your thoughts, guys? What are your thoughts on weight loss surgery and taking medication? Yeah, pop it in the chat box. I'd really be interested in that. Do you think it's an easy way out? Is it something you would ever consider? But yeah, I think that I also see people in the community who've had surgery and who are taking medication. And I think, good on you. If you're losing weight, it can have its challenges, but being overweight, that is hard. Being overweight is very hard. So I think that anything that is going to help you to lose weight and keep it off and give you a fighting chance is good. As long as obviously you've explored it and you've explored, the pros and cons, the goods and the bad, take medical advice, explore how it's going to affect you. I think, yeah, because being overweight, it's hard. It's hard. It is hard. And to know that, you having illnesses and disease and even having a shorter lifespan because of being overweight, that's hard. So yeah, I think that if tools and services are available and you've explored them, I feel no way about that. I'm like, you know what, go for it. Kaz, in your opinion, weight loss surgery doesn't teach someone how to eat healthily or well. It just stops them overeating for a while, but then gradually they can eat like they used to again. Yeah, and do you know what? I agree with you. And I've seen that. I have seen that with those individuals that I know. However, in saying that, you could argue the same for calorie counting, for slimming clubs. You could argue that for anything. And again, we see that in Weight Watchers and in Slimming World, where people restrict, they stop, they don't learn those healthy habits, and then they return 6 months later and they've regained all the weight and some. So, you could argue the same for whatever method somebody does. When I was doing those liquid diets, it didn't teach me anything about healthy habits. And as soon as I stopped, gained the weight back. I did that with Weight Watchers. I thought I had learned healthy habits, but I didn't. What I was learning was to be dependent on an app and dependent on a company. And as soon as I stopped, weight went back on. And then we see that in the community even today. We see so many people saying, I've stopped tracking, I've been on holiday, it's Christmas, I can't afford the membership. They stop tracking. They come back 3 months later, they've regained all the weight because they hadn't learned the healthy habits. And I talked about this at length yesterday. And that's my opinion, is that weight loss clubs, weight loss programs are designed to keep you dependent on their app and their program. And you as an individual have to take it one step further to really embed those habits. And that's why sometimes people say, because yesterday I mentioned somebody said to me that when they put their phone down, they're lost. And that made me really sad. I was like, so if you were lost, if you're not tracking, what have you learned in all these years at Weight Watchers? What have you learned? If you put your phone down and you were lost, if you can't track, that for me shouted danger. So yeah, I think whatever method somebody does, whether it's a slimming club, app, doing it on their own, whether they have surgery or drugs, I think that is just the surface. That, like I was talking yesterday again, that's the iceberg. They have to get underneath the water and build that solid foundation, and they have to build those healthy habits and build that healthy lifestyle. And once people build that healthy lifestyle, whatever method they do, that's what's going to lead to weight loss and keep the weight off. Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, that's my opinion. And we're all entitled to our own opinion and our own thoughts. And as I say, everything that I share and say on this channel, it is purely for entertainment. I'm not a psychologist. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a medical professional. I'm not a nutritionist or dietitian. It is all my opinion, and it's for entertainment. But those are my views. So tips for losing weight: to make those healthy choices every single day, whatever method you choose, however you choose to lose weight. And I also think that another really important step is to celebrate yourself. Really celebrate your milestones, every effort, every pound that you lose, every half a pound that you lose, even, your measurements, if you've gone down a dress size, even if you just feel your clothes feeling looser, if you could walk that little bit further, if you could get up the stairs a little bit easier, if you could get out the chair without your body groaning, if you had a really good night's sleep, celebrate all of those successes. Yeah. And not just wait for that number on the scale. And I think when we start to celebrate those successes, we celebrate who we are. And we can feel good about ourselves. Because if we feel good, we're going to want to continue. Because that goes back to our why. One of the number one reasons people want to lose weight is because they're not happy. They don't feel good about themselves. So finding reasons to celebrate yourself and feel good about yourself, I think, is critical, really, really important. And then My other tips is then about habits, building those habits. And I just want to break that down for you. So my tips is get reading. Get reading. When you go to the supermarket, when you go to buy food, start reading the labels. Pick up the cans, read them, see what's in them. Start to understand those labels. How much protein is in a food? How much protein do you need? Do your body need? Is that food worth it? Is that food going to help towards the protein that your body needs? Start understanding things around sugars and fats and start reading the labels. What's in that? Is this food majority fat? Is it majority sugar? And a little tip, guys, when you read a label, the food with the highest percentage is always at the top. So if you pick up a label, a packet, and the first ingredient is, sorry, on the nutritional label, the first ingredients with the highest proportion is fat, you know that's a danger. And whereas if the first label, the first word on that is protein, you know that's going to be good for you. And you know what? This is one of the things that has really helped me to shift away from relying on an app, the Weight Watchers app, because I started reading labels. I started to understand it. So I know that if something has got protein in it, and when I say protein in it, I don't mean protein being the last thing on the label. I mean protein being at the top. I know I could eat that till my heart's content. It's not a danger food. It's a food that is going to support me because it's protein. If, however, I pick up a packet and on the nutritional label, fat or sugar is one of the first things on there, and you know it tells you how many grams of fat per 100 gram, etc. That label, if I see fat or sugar, it's going straight back on the shelf 9 out of 10 times. Don't need an app to tell me that. Don't need an app to tell me that this is a food that's going to be high in points. It's going to be ridiculously high. Yeah. So it's kind of really understanding your labels. So taking that time to read them. And then also the nutritional content of that food. Again, so for example, when I read what's in a food, again, it works the same way. If it's, say, like pork sausages, for example, it will tell you what percentage has the biggest portion, what ingredients make up that food, but the biggest proportions comes first. So if it says something like pork in a pork sausage, and it's the first one, you know that is the bulk of that product. Then it's going to give you the percentage. So it might say 80% pork. Okay. Then I'm like, okay, well, if it's 80% pork, what else is in it? And then that's when you start getting behind that pork sausage. And then you start looking, well, it's got added fat. It might have all these emulsifiers. It's got all these ingredients that you can't even pronounce, that I've never ever heard of. Yeah. When we start to understand those labels, now I don't mean like understanding what guar gum is, or you know, just looking and saying, okay, this has got 80% pork and 20% chemicals or crap. You know, I know that for the majority of it, I'm eating pork. Yeah. I'm like, okay, I'm going to go with that. I'm happy with that. And only you can make your choice. But if I read a label and I see that 50% is pork, it's going straight back on the shelf, because I'm like, what else is in that pork sausage? Yeah. And it might be packed out with fat or other animal tissue and animal content and all these chemicals. Not having that. No. Or again, it might be I might buy a packet of biscuits, and when I read it, it's like, you know, sugar. Sugar might be the first thing on that. Well, of course, that's going to be massively high in points, but also that's not good for me. It's going to be high in calories too. So really taking the time to understand food labels, so important. And if you need any help with that, just check out the Food Standard Agency, and they've got lots and lots of useful information on there to understand food labels. And when you start understanding food labels, whatever plan you're doing, whether you're doing Weight Watchers, Slimming World, you're doing Noom, whether you calorie counting, or if you just say, do you know what, I'm just making a lifestyle choice and I'm not following any plan, I'm just choosing, you know, quality, healthy food. That's the way to go. That takes away any dependence on, you know, apps and things like that. Just reading food labels and making healthy choices and really understanding that. So if you go for that sausage with 80% pork and you scan that, that's going to be lower. Obviously, it's going to be lower in points than if you went for a sausage with 50% pork, because and it's packed out with fat and other bits from, you know, the animal. If you go for a biscuit that is you know, 70% wheat, such as digestive, that's going to have less sugar and they're going to be less in points than going for something that is the bulk of the ingredients is sugar. I'm just trying to think what that maybe like a wafer, right? That's going to be high in sugar, or one of those like a chocolate bar or something like that. That's going to be high in points over something like a wheat-based biscuit. So it's thinking about that, understanding your foods, understanding your food labels. Another tip to help you lose weight is to eat slowly. And I've talked about this before in other lives, is eating slowly. When we eat slowly, our stomachs sends out a signal to our brain and vice versa. And our bodies start to say, do you know what? I've eaten and I'm full. And it's learning to listen out to that signal and to learn over time. It doesn't happen overnight, but over time, learning to listening to that signal, and then to say, do you know what? I'm full. I'm going to stop eating. And do you know what? Well, it's not funny because I do it all the time, but I did that this morning with my yogurt, my Kvarg yogurt, and I was eating it and I was thinking, oh my goodness, I'm getting full. And I only had one spoonful left to go. And I looked at that spoonful and I listened to my stomach. And I was like, Angela, you're full. Stop. Just stop. So I did. I put my fork down, my knife down, and I busied myself doing something else. And you know what? Because of conditioning, I wanted to go back and finish that. I wanted to go back and finish it because I've been conditioned for 57 years to just finish my food and not waste it. And I thought, no, I'm full. I'm satisfied. I'm going to put it in the bin, and went straight away and put it in the bin. It takes time to be able to do that. It takes time to recognize those symbols, but it was so worth it. It's so worth doing that, because I could have so easily have overeaten, so easily. But I was like, no, I'm full now. I'm going to stop. I'm going to stop. So yeah, eating slowly and listening into those signals. And also don't eat whilst distracted. Yeah. That's something I had to learn not to do, because I was always on the go, always busy, always doing something. And I'll just be eating mindlessly. And I had to learn just to stop, sit down at a table, present my food nicely to myself, and just enjoy it. And when I did that, brain stomach signals saying you're actually eating. Whereas before, if I was doing something, I might be working, I might be munching on my crisps and then shoveling them in. And then when I actually stop and take a break, I'm like, right, where's my crisps? Oh, they've gone. Oh, I must have eaten them and hadn't even recognised that I'd eaten them. So what would happen? I'd go and have some more. And that was keeping me into this cycle of one, overeating, which obviously meant I was eating more points, more calories. I was just overeating. But two, I was feeding into that bad habit of not listening to my signals. So I had to learn to do that, just to slow it down and to eat, make time to eat, and not eat when I'm distracted. And stop eating when I'm full, but also to eat the foods that I absolutely love, and to eat till I'm satisfied. And when I do that, I don't have the need to snack, and I don't have the need to pick, because I've really enjoyed my food and I'm thoroughly satisfied. And I'm like, that's it, I'm done now. I'm done. I've eaten, I've enjoyed it. And my final point on this is go for nutrition. Go for nutrition and go for whole foods. When I was eating processed foods, and again, I'm not demonizing processed foods, because I think they have a place. But when I got to a position where I could cook my food from scratch, and I could cook it, I could batch it, I could store it. And when I got to a position where I could do that, those were much more satisfying than when I was eating the convenience foods, those ready-made foods. And I mentioned yesterday that for years, before I started my journey, everything I ate was well in the oven. I could cook, I've always been able to cook, but just didn't. So it was like pie and chips, pizza and chips, chicken and chips, those convenience foods. Yeah. And at the height of my illness, when I was really ill and unwell, that was so convenient. I used to just say to my son, go put some, pizza and chips in the oven for our dinner. I lived on them. So as I say, I'm not demonizing them. They have a place. But where you can, I would say cook from scratch. And even batch cooking and batch prepping can help. But even if it's just one meal a week, just start building that up. It can make all the difference. And you know what? My most important tip for losing weight. Everything that I've said is of no value unless you're in the mindset. Unless you're in the mindset. Unless you're in the zone. And I would go through stages where I knew that I needed to be amongst my community. I knew that I needed to cook a healthy meal. I knew that I need to choose those foods that were going to support me in the supermarket. I knew that I needed to stop eating when I was full. I knew that I shouldn't sit and watch TV and guzzle my dinner at the same time. I knew that I needed to get all of that sleep. I knew that I needed to connect with my wife. I knew all of that. I knew that. I hadn't had the mindset. I hadn't worked on the mindset. And the mindset was, I want to change my life so badly. And part of that was about social images. Social images, either demonizing the fuller figure or holding up the thinner figures as something to strive for. And there was conflict. So on one moment, I wanted to be slim like those models. But on the other hand, there was those messages that were saying, love your body, whatever size, whatever shape you are, love who you are. And whilst I totally agree with that, there was conflict for me because I wanted to be slim, but I also wanted to learn to love my body. And I've got jiggly bits, I've got a belly, I wanted to love that because that was what the media images were saying. So there was conflict there for me. And there was always this struggle. And, my partner at the time, he used to always say, Angie, I love you regardless of what you look like, which was so sweet of him to say that. But that added to my conflict because I knew I wasn't happy. So I struggled with that. So what helped me was shifting to health. Shifting to health, because I was like, I could be the ideal figure for me and my body, but still be unhealthy. I could be a full-figured girl and still not be healthy. So the conflict, once I took that conflict away and focused on, I'm working on my health, that fueled my mindset. My mindset just became focused, and I'm like, yeah, I'm going all out for health. I have to improve my health. I have to improve my lupus, my diabetes, my fibro, my chronic fatigue, of the bursitis, the arthritis, the dry eyes, all of that. I've got to improve that. What are the things that are going to help me to get rid of that conflict and to focus in on health? And once I started to do that, weight loss happened. Weight loss happened. So for me, weight loss, and I know that I'm not alone when I say that, because so many people that I speak to in the community say the same thing, is that for them, weight loss is about mindset. And I absolutely, unless my mind And on my journey, I've had a few wobbles. I've had several wobbles where things have happened and I've not been happy about, the bigger picture about work and, life and, relationship. And I've had massive wobbles and I'm just like, forget it. I'm just going to stay as I am, But as soon as I work on that mindset, and you know me, the podcast queen, as soon as I start listening to podcasts and listening to people's stories, I'm like, do you know what? I want this. I want this. And then I put in place all of those habits to underpin and support improving my health. And weight loss had happened. Whereas I feel that not just Weight Watchers, but weight loss clubs, weight loss programs. I think that they hinge too much on the food as their first attraction. So what I mean by that is Weight Watchers, for example, say nothing is off limits. Nothing's off the menu. It's all about food. In Weight Watchers, Slimming World's advertising, it's all about the food optimizing. It's all about the food. When I look at Noom, it's all about food. Whenever you look at all of these different programs, it's all about the food. And I think that is because they are all primarily food companies. Yeah, I think they're food companies first and foremost. And I would love to see a program that says you've tried all these food company programs and plans and diets and all of that. Here's a program that helps you to first and foremost work on your mindset. And I wonder how different the weight loss industry would look if people were encouraged to first and foremost focus on their mindset rather than focus on food. And the reason I say this is because I've never been an alcoholic. And I've never been to Alcoholics Anonymous. I smoked for 2 weeks and then I gave it up 40 years ago. I've never been to a smoking cessation class. But when I have seen and I've heard how people are supported to deal with their addiction, it's never, well, what sort of cigarettes do you smoke? And what sort of cigarettes, can you try? What sort of cigarettes would work for you this week? It's never, well, what sort of alcohol do you like? What sort of alcohol could you try this week? What quantity of alcohol would work for you? Never. But yet we do that with food. We do that with food. The smoking addiction, the gambling addiction, the alcohol addiction, all of these programs to support people with addiction focus on the mindset and the behavior change. So that's why I wonder what the weight loss industry would look like if they led with mindset and changing the behaviors rather than changing the behaviors around food. And I'm not saying that that's not important. It is absolutely important, because we don't have to smoke, we don't have to drink, we don't have to gamble, but we do have to eat. Although an alcoholic would say that they do have to drink, and the smoker says they do have to smoke. I accept that. A gambler says they do have the need to gamble, but physically we have to eat. So I just wonder, but that's what I would like to see. I would love to see a program that supports people first and foremost with addressing their mindset and tackling the food addiction and the sugar addiction and the craving addiction and the snacking addiction first and foremost, rather than saying, here you go, nothing's off the menu. What would you like to eat today? Have something to eat and then we'll fix you. No, let's fix people first and then, address that. That's just my thoughts. What do you think? What do you think? Do you think I'm barking up the wrong tree, or do you think I'm bit crackers? What do you think? I'd love to know. Pop it in the chat box. Let me know. What do you think? What's been your experience? When you've been successful on your journey, what's helped you to be successful? And if you're struggling on your journey, does what I've just said make sense to you? Do you feel that you need that support around the mindset first, and then to, when we deal with that mindset and then help people support that mindset with those healthy behaviors, it then becomes easier to make those good food lifestyle choices, rather than trying to deal with them first, we're failing, and then we're beating ourselves up, and then putting that sticky band-aid on. And then we feel bad because we're walking around with a band-aid that says, I'm a failure. I can't lose weight. This hasn't happened. Why am I not losing weight? And we feel bad about ourselves. Whereas if we supported people first and foremost with their mindset, let's help to get you in that good place. Let's help you to feel good about you. Let's right back to what I started off saying. We're all on the journey because we are unhappy. Let's do some work around, why are you unhappy? What's led you to be unhappy? What can we do? What can you do to feel happier in yourself? Let's get down. And as I mentioned yesterday, I really believe that we carry weights long term because of emotions. Undealt emotions that we carry. Let's tackle those first. And then when we do that, we won't find ourselves having to soothe ourselves with food, because our emotions have got the better of us, because that's why we're comforted. Let's be honest. Kaz, you agree with me? You agree with me? Yeah. We soothe ourselves. And Kaz, let me know if you agree with me on this. We comfort eat to soothe ourselves, to soothe our emotions. Whether that be we be upset, somebody said something to us that we didn't like, something happened, or in my case, my cat was sick, or we didn't get that job interview, or we're feeling really tired, or the stress is built up. And we want that comfort blanket. We want that hug. But the only way we've been able to do that in the past is by food. When we're children and we're upset, I do it with my grandchildren. They're upset. Oh, I have a lolly, you know, or I have a biscuit, you know. And we've been conditioned when we're younger. Yeah, you're definitely emotional comfort eater, and you've done it since you was a kid. Yeah, same here. Same here. When I'm upset, I get food. Even if, like, my friend, if I'm upset with my friend and I'm angry with him, or I've fallen out, he comes over with food. He was the one, Kaz, I was telling you about the other day, who keeps bringing me chocolates. Every time we fall out, he brings me chocolate. It's almost like that. They expect that the chocolate to take away all, and it doesn't. But that's what we've been conditioned with. We've been taught from children, when we're upset, when we're hurt, when we're angry, when we're tired, when we're lonely, when we feel sad, have something to eat. So, and then these companies say, we're going to help you to lose weight. Have whatever you want to eat. Let's tackle that with more food. No, let's stop that. Let's get off that bandwagon. Let's deal with the emotions and the mindset and work to get into that good place. And then when we're in that good place, then we're going to make those good choices. It has taken me 52 years to get to that place. 52 years. And I'm in that better place now. No longer than that. 55 years to get to that place. And it was only the last 18 months that I had that epiphany. And I thought, I'm just using food as that band-aid. I need to deal with those emotions. I need to dig deep, explore those emotions. I need to find out why I need to soothe myself. And when I'm craving, this is a topic for another time. I'm going to talk about cravings. But when we're craving, it does. I'm seeing him tomorrow. Yeah, it does need a good talking to. I'll say, Kaz says. Yeah, when we're craving something, I believe that's an emotional response. Something is not right emotionally. And we can't figure it out. So we turn to food, because that is our natural response. It's the response we've learned from childhood. So we turn to food. And when we've had that bag of crisps, it's not soothed us, and we're still craving something else. So we go in the fridge and we think, oh, we'll have that piece of cheese. And we eat that, and it's still not soothed us. So we think, oh, I'll have a couple of biscuits and a cup of tea, and that still not soothes us. And whatever we eat doesn't make us feel better. We are still craving. And that's because we've not dug deep. And yeah, Kaz says yes. And if that's what we've always done, it's deeply ingrained, and it takes a while to change it, but it's doable. Indeed. You know? So when we get that craving, and I'm going to talk about this on another time, but quickly, when we get that craving, I think we ask ourselves the wrong question. When we get those cravings, we ask, what can I eat? I think the questions should be around, what am I feeling? Why am I feeling like this? And what can I do to address those feelings? And I think when we answer those questions, we're going to get a much better response and deal with it much better than let's eat. And I heard that today. I heard exactly that today. Somebody said when they have a craving, they will eat, but they are not satisfied. And they keep eating and they're still not satisfied. And it keeps going until they make themselves sick. And they said, I don't know why I do it. I don't know why I do it. And I believe it's because we've got unresolved issues going on. There's emotions that we haven't dealt with. So, Kaz, you know, for you, you need to push down those feelings. There you go. Emotions. It's like I'm stuffing it back down inside. Exactly. Pushing it down, pushing it down, pushing it down. And I think that's why sometimes we struggle on the weight loss journey. Because on one hand, we've got all these emotions that we're not dealt with, that we're not dealing with, that we're suppressing. And then we have a weight loss program that says, eat all you want. Eat all you want. Eat, nothing's off the menu. So we're like, okay, I can do that. And then we're eating and we're pushing it down. And then we're struggling to stay within our points. We feel bad. We're not staying within our points. So we're on that cycle, pushing it down. Then the points are out of control. And then we're pushing it down until we're completely out of control. And we're struggling. And then it's just like, I'm just going to give up. We need to deal with those emotions. Yeah. It's, do you know, this was supposed to be a quick session and it's like an hour and 40 minutes. I've got so much to say about the weight loss journey. I think it is deep. I have learned a huge amount on my journey, not just about what foods to eat or what activity to do. I've learned a huge amount, which is so much deeper than that. And that is what's helped me on my journey. And I hope that my live sessions, I hope these videos are going to help you too. As I said, I'm not a medical professional. I'm not a nutritionist, a dietitian. I'm not a doctor, not even a psychologist, none of those things. But I've had a journey of learning, a journey of helping others. And I often think that the fruits of success will always show on somebody who's living the journey. And I hope you see that in me, that I am living the journey and that my success is through experience and hard work, and that there may be something in what I say that helps you. I hope that, you know, and you don't have to listen to me, you know, I do all of this for free. This is my channel to document my thoughts and my feelings and to share with you. And, you know, if you find something of value, then take it and run with it, use it to help you. But yeah, this is my learnings, and this has helped me to lose 115 pounds so far. And interestingly, the bulk of that has been in the last 18 months, after I started to unpick what was going on in my head or my stomach, and really thinking what the healthy habit I want, rather than the healthy habits I was being told these are what you need to have, that was dictated by a faceless corporate company and a faceless weight loss industry. And that's why I always say sometimes we just have to look at what's been said and just stop and think, is that working for me? Even if it goes against the social grain, is that right for me? And sometimes we have to be brave and step out of that comfort zone and find what works for us. Yes, it's gone ever so quickly, Kaz. It's gone ever so quick. Kaz, I hope that you have enjoyed this. I can see I've still got 2 people with me. I hope that you have found it of value. I really do. I thoroughly love coming on and sharing my thoughts with you. And I hope you find them of value. I've got a few more topics that I do want to cover in the next coming days. I've got one all about accountability, interesting topic, and yeah, I'm going to pick up on this topic that I've just mentioned today as well. And as usual, I've got one about cravings as well. We're going to talk about cravings and emotions. I've got another video, another live stream that I'm going to do about following on from that series of meal ideas. So we looked at breakfast, we looked at lunch, and we're going to look at dinner ideas as well. Give you a few suggestions there. So there's loads, and I hope you're enjoying these live streams. These live streams work brilliantly for me because it means I can spend my time talking and sharing with you. We can interact in the chat box, but also the benefit for me is there's no editing. There's no editing because the editing takes a long time. So these are really working for me. So I hope they're working for you. Guys, thank you so much. Where's me water? I'm going to have a sip. I'm feeling a bit parched. So thank you so much for being with me. So whatever you're doing this evening, have a wonderful time. I'm going to curl up on the sofa with my new Bengal cat. She's not come to me yet. She won't let me hug her. So I'm going to coax her and have cuddle with her on the sofa this evening whilst I catch up on Emmerdale and Coronation Street. I know, don't judge me. I'm gonna watch those, and then and then I will see you tomorrow. It is going to be a short one tomorrow, and it's probably going to be tomorrow morning because I'm out with my friend tomorrow afternoon. So it'll be a quick one tomorrow, but and then I'll be back on Sunday. So guys, thank you so much for being with me. If you are not subscribed to the channel, feel free to hit that subscribe button and the notification bell. If you're at this point in the video, you might as well. And also feel free to share it as well. Feel free to share. Like and comment as well. Because that helps really a lot with the algorithm. And guys, help me out, please. Help me out. The best thing you can do to help me grow this channel, we're on the road to 4,000 watch hours. Yeah, 4,000 watch hours. The best thing you can do is watch another video. And if you watch another live, which is long like this, just listen to it. Use it as your podcast. Use it as a podcast. Listen to it in the background. Listen whilst you're cooking or you're cleaning, whilst you're driving. But just click on any of the videos, any of the lives, and just give it a listen, because that helps to build my watch hours. So guys, thank you so much for being with me today. Have a lovely day, whatever you're doing. And I'll see you very soon. Take care, guys. Bye.